People kept saying that Persona 6 will be dark. But come on now, Giant Persona here looks like a bundle of joy. Just ask his cousin. Persona 6 will be darker than we thought. And no, it's not just because Persona 6 announcement trailer featured a graveyard. Many have said that Persona 5 wasn't about musical chairs after showing rows of it on their announcement. But if you think about it, we did see a lot of chair moments when Joker is being interrogated by Sae, which has been the plot device of P5's story. Not to mention, unlike P5's chairs, Persona 6 trailer is actual footage from the game. Now, graveyards doesn't automatically mean that the story will be dark. For all we know, it might be a Halloween cutscene in P6. Maybe the story will feature grave robbers, or P6 finally burying Persona Trinity Soul. Nah, that can't be it. That anime doesn't deserve a proper burial. Whatever it may be, this scene alone holds a massive significance to what Persona 6 will be about. And it's absolutely going to be much darker than the past modern Persona games. And here's why. But before that though, if you cannot wait for Persona 6, then like this video. And join Otaku Define for more Persona content. I've been saying that P6 will be darker than we realize. But why is it that Persona fans are wishing for the series to become darker? And what does it even mean to be a dark Persona game? This whole desire started with how the story and feel of Persona 4 went. Because after a year with P3, people came in with an expectation that P4 will also have the same darker themes from its predecessor. So imagine their surprise when Persona 4 turned out to be at the completely different side of the spectrum, where the whole vibes is so much fun. The people surrounding the players are all warm, and the non-stop banter from the characters made the game a comfortable experience, despite all the murders. Which brings me to the point that saying Persona 4 isn't a dark game is a shallow description, because underneath the colorful presentation, the game explored so many sensitive issues that no other game was brave enough to do. And also the murders. Is it the same darker experience as Persona 3? No, but it did have its darker moments, and that's exactly what made Persona 4 so amazing. So, again, what exactly is a dark Persona game? Is it supposed to be similar to the original Persona Revelations, where a group of people solve urban legends happening in the city? Should it be in the same breath as Persona 2, where a bittersweet ending equates to a darker game? Not exactly. And here's why Persona 6 is darker than we realize. And no, that's not just me theorizing, considering the official description for the game. As it says, navigate the rhythms of everyday school life and build friendships, pursue romance, and cultivate memories that matter. Which means that as a Persona game, it will obviously follow the formula established by P3, where a protagonist will live a double life as your average student that is somehow gifted with many talents, but no one is batting an eye about it, while also increasing social links with characters, and romance option is back. Unlike Metaphor, who threw it away after giving us this hot characters. But what strikes me here the most is the part where it says, cultivate memories that matter. While that can just be a throwaway marketing line as a way to say that treasure was the friends we made along the way, memories being a key part of Persona 6 would make sense given the trailer. As one of the hardest code in anime once said, people die when they are forgotten. Now this doesn't mean that P6 is rehashing P3's theme of death, but rather the importance of preserving the memories, be it from the past loved ones or experiences. Continuing on with Persona 6 official description, but beneath the surface of familiar streets and quiet neighborhoods lies something darker, strange rumors, unsettling urban legends, and occult incidents that only you and your closest allies can face. This means that of course we'll have our more exciting moments in P6 outside with a high school social activity, So if P3 features C's and their goal to explore Tartarus, P4's goofy investigation team to catch a serial killer, and P5's phantom thieves stealing corrupted hearts, P6 cast will be Ghostbusters. This is also in line with the leaked images of P6 characters, as one of them is even wearing a priest-like clothing hidden underneath the jacket. There's also a recurring hint of paint being used as a motif for P6, so that might be their way of exorcising the spirits, as before holy water was actually used in exorcism, oil was thought of as an excellent medium to lay spirits to eternal rest. Moreover, personas or the demons used in the game have a lot of urban legends as their lores, such as Mothman being a popular cryptid in the US, and a bunch of them being restless ghosts that haven't moved on like Alice. So think of them exploring a haunted house and solving a spooky mystery. I do feel like it would have similar notes with the anime Dandadan, which was also heavily inspired by the Persona series as the author has mentioned. It will be interesting to see the P6 characters being occult nerds exploring macabre locations. This is also why the graveyard was featured heavily for its announcement trailer, and I'm guessing that this is actually where our protagonists will awaken their persona, with a headless statue representing their true self. Thus, the headless rider will definitely be the P6 protagonist starter persona, which is an urban legend that features a headless man speeding through the highway with a motorcycle and using piano wires to decapitate people, and it searches for its murderer or its missing head, which would be absolutely creepy and fits with a horror-esque theme of Persona 6. Now, this brings us to the emotional theme of the game. If Persona 3 is about accepting death, then Persona 4 is reaching out for the truth, and Persona 5 rebelling against established norms, then Persona 6 will certainly be about facing your greatest fear, which is why the main color of P6 is green. While the verdant color isn't traditionally represented for fear, as that is commonly associated with the colors yellow, black, or red, green in itself has been used by other media to represent fear in particular contexts, especially when it's portraying the supernatural. Green is often used for dangerous things that people fear, such as ghosts, toxic substances, radiation, and even monsters. A pulsing green light is also used in other media to suggest something horrible is happening, like an alien abduction, a zombie infection, or a cursed magic. And Persona 6 will most likely tackle one of the greatest fears of man, the unknown. Hence why our cast here are trying to solve urban legends and cracking the codes of the occult. The characters presented here may be even dealing with different fears that they experience in society. Speaking of which, this is another reason why Persona 6 will be darker than we think, as our protagonist this time is most likely a Hafu, a half Japanese, or maybe even a full-on gaijin or foreigner considering how he looks from the leaks. I know he does look like a familiar someone from Persona 3, but this is another fear that is a rampant socio-political issue in Japan right now. Xenophobia, the fear or dislike against people from another country. And P Studio has never shied away from telling a socio-political story and representing what they actually think. Shido from Persona 5 was even based on Shinzo Abe's political aspirations. Metaphor has dealt with the matters of racism, and over at another studio under Sega, RGG is not pulling any punches with Stranger Than Heaven. In the trailer, we can see a bunch of hands as if pointing to someone, blaming them for something. This alludes to the protagonist being condemned for something they didn't even do, with the red arms being the actual perpetrator while also instigating the situation. And that is an actual issue in Japan where foreigners are being blamed left and right. So we're expected to see a story that will be uncomfortable for all of us, and that's a brave thing to do. As P Studio is one of the writing teams I can actually trust in delivering a provocative story without feeling like a moral lecture. Lastly, with the whole graveyard thing, I think the Velvet Room this time will follow that theme. Maybe we'll get a morgue, and Eager and the attendant will reanimate the body when fusing personas. Or maybe the setting itself will be the graveyard where souls will be floating up from the graves to summon new personas. Either way, I love that Persona 6 is seemingly going back to the horror roots of the Persona franchise. I do hope that P6 goes darker than Persona 3 and 2. For now, all we can do is speculate wait, since Sega Atlus really didn't show much aside from this, any title reveal. But how about you guys? Are you excited for a darker Persona game? Or are you more thrilled for the remake of P4 with Persona 4 Revival? If you're curious why P4R is actually more than just a simple remake, then check this video out. Join Otaku Defined for more Persona content. This is Math, and stay awesome, my dudes.